Hello everyone. So this is a healing spiritual program and it is here for your purpose. There are two things that I consider a sin, and one of those is the arrogance, and the second one is knowledge not used. And so this is going to create, I hope, knowledge that you will use, that you can use at the moment, because the moment is all we have. We have air, we have space. This is for mental and spiritual growth. And it's used for your purpose, but you have to use it. It isn't any good to know something and not use it. How many friends do you know going to a doctor to get something cut out, only to have something else cut out? Or use one drug, but to counteract that drug, they have to offer another drug. This is a kind of self-healing, and what I do is just facilitate. I just open a doorway, and hopefully you can enter that doorway and receive willingly and have some results for yourself. So the first thing that I like to do is talk about maintaining wellness. A lot of us don't feel like we are worth or worthy of having wellness, and you have to maintain it, you have to sustain it. Just like you're on a trampoline, you don't fall off it, you need to sustain that kind of wellness. It's the hardest thing actually to not allow the wellness, and it takes a lot of strength to resist. Most people resist, and they're tired, they're anxious, they're sad, they're depressed, and a lot of that has to do with not allowing. So you create these patterns of not allowing, but which would you rather have? The sadness, the depression, the anxiety, or would you rather have wellness and to feel good? So our natural state of being is loving, having desires, playing, being joyful, to expand, to question, to want more of life. But again, you create these patterns that are totally in opposition of that. And I call them oppositional desires. Some people say, well, it's not good to desire, but it is good to have desires, because that keeps God's dream going. That keeps all of us maintaining and sustaining health and healing one another and enjoying life. So the physical body is amenable to restoration. Many people think that, well, when you're older, you gain wisdom. But wisdom and age has nothing to do with one another at all. Just like some people who are elderly look 20 years younger. How do they manage that? And when I say manage, that's exactly what they're doing. They are managing their thoughts, their feelings, their output, their input. You have to point in the direction that you want to go. And sometimes you get lost. And sometimes there is no GPS. Sometimes there's no anything. And you have to be able to have faith and expectation that you will figure it out on your own. And figure it out as you go along. And allow it to unfold. Most people are anxious about the future, but all we have always is here and now. So if someone has a cell phone right now and they're looking at it and I'm here in front of them, they're not here with me at all. They're with the cell phone. So to be in the now means to give every detail to where you are at that very moment. Everyone becomes, or is becoming, or ages according to their beliefs. Now this is very important. You age according to your beliefs. So you go to the doctor and he says, well, you're going to have this all your life. Uh-oh, you say, and you believe that person. But no one has any jurisdiction over you except yourself. And you must follow your own inner guidance. Disease is like an error in judgment in a lot of ways. Now that doesn't mean that you don't have disease, but you can also undo some of it or all of it. And it has to do with perhaps someone who has lung disease and they're smoking. Obviously, it would help if they gave up that smoking. Or if they have diabetes and they're drinking, obviously, soda. And they shouldn't be having that. We all know what we need to do. But again, the one sin is having that knowledge and not applying it. And that's a very big one to have. So, meditation is attuning the mental body and the physical body to its spiritual source. It's an activation of energy. You activate the energy within yourself. And if you don't have that desire to do that, you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to stay right where you are and you stagnate. But you didn't come on this planet to stagnate. You came to activate, to create, to co-create, and so on. So it's brought about desire. You practice a thought that feels good. Now there are many people who also agree with this, like Abraham and Hicks and so on. But I tried to gravitate as a child always to what felt good. Because usually what felt good was also usually correct, or it worked for me, or it was right. So you have to control your own vibration, and you have to control and understand that you are the creator of that. Of course you are. Now, when you seem confused or muddled, it's because a lot of times you have to know your value. You have to know what works for you. Now, your friend may say that vitamin will work for you, and that's a great idea. But on the other hand, you may not need that resource particularly. And so you have to understand and know yourself. Know thyself. Very, very important. But also, on the other hand, you need to be a little open to anything that's new so that you can grow as a person as well. It becomes a pattern. You become confused if you do not allow who you are. And in the scripture, it will say, those with negative vibrations tremble at the power of God. So negative aspects are often the opposite of truth. Of your inner core truth. Of your heart core truth. And that's why when you feel negative, it doesn't feel good. Nor should you allow someone else to be negative towards you. Although constructive criticism is positive. There are certain things that some people can take and twist and say, that's negative. But no, you need to look at yourself honestly. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a little of breathing in, and we say Han, and we breathe out, and we say Sa. So it's Han Sa. So you breathe in, Han, and breathe out, saying Sa. Han Sa. And that helps to draw the breath in and draw the impurities out. Han Sa. Now there's no lack of supply, there's only lack of demand. And when there's lack of demand, there's lack of command. Command and commit to who you are and to what you want. You manifest. But many people don't know how to manifest. And they'll create what I call the success barrier. You know what that is. No, I can't possibly go there. I can't do this. I can't make that. I can't take the time out to come here, and so on. So this is something about you have to put down that success barrier wall. You have to break through them. Failure and success are a pattern. And so you can create many successes in life. And if you fail, like an entrepreneur can, very easily fail, they will get back up and try something new. So they're still successful, even though they failed at one thing or another at that moment. So it's really that they can come together as well, and still you can still be successful. It's how you look at things. So the main thing about healing is that you take care of your nervous system so that you can handle success and prosperity. Usually people who have success, they contain an ounce of grit. That means they are really right in their core, their center. They know what matters to them. They will not let anybody steer them off course. And they don't tell everyone. They have a secret garden. They don't tell everyone what matters most to them. You keep something for yourself always. And you share that with God. God is all that is. And you keep something for yourself. And it makes you smile that you have one secret that nobody else knows. It's just between you and your beloved God or Goddess. And so they have that grit, that core belief that one way or another, they'll get back up and they'll keep going and succeed. So that's the same way with our health as well, when we want to manifest health. And we have breakthroughs. And we know people overcoming cancer or overcoming what you consider a death sentence. So there are things that you could do that also help to self-heal, self-soothe yourself to get started with our healing session. And one of those is for communication. And you take your palms of your hand and you put them on your throat like this, and you touch your heels of your hands together, if you can, and just hold it there for a minute. And think of all the things that you'd like to say to someone or something that you haven't said maybe. You haven't said it out loud to them. Okay, we're going on to the next one. And that's for the throat. Now this promotes intuitive vision. So we're going to think of things we'd like to see. Often when we fail in our health or our eye health, we don't like what we're seeing. So let's do that and hold our hands over our eyes for a minute and think of the beauty that's all around you and all around the world. It can be in animals or plants or people. It can be in fashion. It could be in anything. Architecture. Right, that's for the eyes. And now we're going on for this supports spirituality. So you will take this left hand, put it underneath, and put this on top. And you will think of something that moves you, that touches you. It doesn't have to be religious. It could be just spiritual, something lovely, and something that was unexpected perhaps, or a miracle even. So do this now. For supporting your spirituality. And let's create balance. A lot of times we're off balance because we watch the news or we hear negative news. So let's balance ourselves by putting this over our head. And let's actually think of some good news that we had recently. And that's near the temples. Okay, now I'm going to take you to a little bit of, we're going to do a meditation with your eyes closed. And I always like to hold my heart because that reminds me to go back to my heart center. And this is just very brief before we get started on the bed healing. In your mind, take yourself to a seashore and put your back against a palm tree. Place your feet in the warm sand. Feel the sun on your face, the breeze in your hair, and you can get as simple as you want or as intricate as you'd like. And there are just a few clouds in the sky, not many at all. The sky's very, very blue today. So I want you to look up at the clouds and take 3 deep breaths. And you're feeling all the negativity and the hurt and the sadness or any other feeling that you have that you want to flow out of you. Do that now. And feel it go down through your whole body and out your toes into the gentle waves that are lapping against your feet. Then out of the shadows from the palm trees, ask your guide to come to you. Just ask a simple question, just one. If you want to, you can ask their name as time progresses. And don't be afraid to ask the guide specific questions that you can later validate. Feel yourself against the palm tree, resting, relaxing, your shoulders going down. The frown lines are disappearing. Your scowl is relaxing. Feel the warmth, the sun, the breeze. And then you say to yourself, I flow with life like a willow tree. I bend and I stretch, and I do not break. I bend and stretch more, and I always come back. I come back to my center of my heart. And we say, I am ready for the new frequencies which is going to enhance everything within me. I intend to continue my work as an old soul on this planet, and this gives me direction and wisdom to allow the change in me. You are all really old souls in one way or another. You are like a beacon. And when you walk into a room, any room, darkness leaves. It cannot withstand seeing such brightness. You are that beacon of light for yourself and even for others. Imagine that you are a future healer, and you balance any disease, and it oozes out and it leaves you. You don't need to age, and you deal with perceptions of the past that are untrue. And even expect things to be the way you want them to be. Imagine you are a future healer to yourself. You are balancing yourself and any disease that you have as it oozes out of you and it leaves. Expect things to be the way you want them to be. I say that the wiser you are, the thinner the veil. And that is that you are in touch with your angels, with your guides. You're much closer to them than many. So you say again, I am ready for the new frequencies, which is going to enhance everything within me. I intend to continue my work as an old soul on this planet. Give me direction and wisdom to allow this change in me. The wind is at your back. Imagine that you have the support of the universe or universes. You are a creative source, and there is no separation. You have health, and you are in balance. Well-being is real. It is concrete. It doesn't have to be something that's slippery or sand-like where you're slipping from health every 6 months. We all are in a planet that has change and stress, and it is always how you balance that act. And like someone who is on a high wire, you have to balance that and maintain that balance. And you know what you have to do that. So we did this today. We did our throat that helps communication. We did our spirituality. We created balance near our temples. And we promoted intuitive vision with our eyes. Now, if you hold down here, that helps any sexual energy or any problems that you might have here. You are able to self-soothe and heal yourself by doing this. And you send yourself love and a warm liquid light flowing through you. And this is something that does take some time to do. Some focusing. Focused intention is a laser beam. And because there's so many distractions out here, people forget that they can focus, that they can use this laser beam for healing. And you can imagine that it's coming straight from God, as you are part of God. Okay? And for stubbornness, you can put your hands here and hold them here. It'll help to dislodge that as well. And we like to tap here under the collarbone to waken ourselves up. Ready for healing. And we're going to pinch our ears a little bit and waken up this area. And there, Brooke, you had some that you were going to show us as well, right? You want to come up?
Oh.
Or do you want to give them to me?
Wow. I think that you have a better understanding of them, so I'm going to give them to you.
Okay. So the next one is supporting your personal power. And you'll put your hands, your fingers touching. Right not down here, but more up here. As if you had a high-waisted jeans on or pants, trousers, and you would put them right there where that meets, where that band would meet. It's really your lower rib cage. And this supports your personal power. Okay? This is the one that eases stubbornness. I'm sorry about that. This is the one where you hold your shoulders and down and hold your hands together, your fingers touching. That eases stubbornness. And often we are stubborn not in a way that will support us. That helps to release that. This heals any kind of abuse. The hands are going down. They're near the buttocks. It's the lower back. Fingers touching, creating a V. And this is the one that relieves criticism, touching right here towards the back. That releases criticism because often we criticize ourselves and others. And it may not always be used for constructive criticism, which again is different. Okay? So now, what I'd like to do is have someone come up to the table and I'll show you the different various things that I go through to start out with the healing table. So I can actually do a few people. So I'll do Brooke first.
Would you like me to de-shoe?
You can take your shoes off, but take them off up here, and then you
Okay.
can put them off here. Yeah. And I'm going to start more of a healing music now.
I knew I should have worn double
Okay.
socks.
Right up.
It's a little cold.
Okay. What I'm going to do more or less, I think, is put this under here for you. Can you raise your knees just a little bit, just slightly elevated. Okay. Then you can put your head down. Okay. So I have the pyramids underneath the bed if you'd like to show them up. I'm using the activated pyramids. And those are crystals with colors, various colors. We all know the chakra colors. Many people already do. So the blue is the throat, the green is the heart, and then you have orange and yellow and red for grounding. And then you have various colors, shades of purple, and also the white light for the crystal for the crown. So I have the purple, which is a royal color. And it was royal because it was very difficult to create purple. It was sea urchin where they got the ink for the purple. And so it became a royalty color because it was very expensive to get. And shimmy. So this is for the throat area because we're often stuck there. And so I'm just going to place that color over her. Actually, I'm going to take this off if you don't mind. Can you lift? Oh.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll try to go as fast as we can. We'll do several people. Okay. All right. What I do is I might draw some gems on her a little bit, which would be the purple color, the green for the heart, the blue for the throat, and the orange and the yellow and so on. Sometimes I like pink and green more towards for the heart. And the orange and the red. I have garnet here as well for the red. And I put a little of the green. I have just about every gemstone. Tourmaline, emerald, rose quartz. Okay, so first I'm going to start, and we could do this with each other very quickly. And there are other things I'm going to do, but this is just one of them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold her head. And I am intending that there's healing for her if need be, that she feels love and warmth and joy, and whatever she's needing at this moment, that she receives it. I'm just opening a doorway. I'm not really a healer per se, but I am helping her, hopefully. And I'm putting it over the eyes, over the ears, holding the chin. Throat. And it helps the night before not to eat a lot, you know, have your juices and your broths and so on. I don't like to eat a lot when I'm doing work like this. I like to keep very fluid. So to me, I prefer more fluid in the body. And I like to push the shoulders down just a little bit. I put my weight on them just for a minute to relax their shoulders. Just for a second. And then gently just hold it. And then hold the arm. I like to hold the elbows. Not everybody does this, but I like the elbows because they're fragile. They can crack, they can break. So I like to add a little bit of bonus for healing with the elbows. And this right here is the issues with family. This is an area that's very tender a lot of times. You have issues with family, worthiness, and so this helps to hold this, to heal this area. And also the same with the hips. The hips are the same way. They're very fragile in many ways. They support the body and they support you in many ways, and people add a lot of extra weight on here when they're feeling that they can't get out of their problems or they don't have an exit. And rather than dealing with the weight that they keep on their hips. Now, I'm not saying that's not the way people are born. Some people are born with, as you know, more on top, less on the bottom, and vice versa. But if it's a continual weight problem, you have to examine the issues at hand and deal with them, and then move forward and recreate anew, recreate again in a healing space. Now the thighs are where the anger can be. Because if you've ever noticed, somebody might beat their thighs, on top of their thighs like this. And that's kind of where some anger is held. So we're releasing that right now. And underneath the knees is a tender spot. It's almost like a very intimate spot, which most people don't think of that. But that is where some of our tenderness in life leaves us or finds us. So you can also be angry behind the knees and they're hurting. And on top of the knees, that supports us like a pillar, although people kind of forget they have knees. They're not meant to look structurally beautiful. They're meant for sturdiness. They're meant to, that we have are able to stand our ground along with our feet. And our calves are like just that little extra support, that little extra kick in life. And so when these are out of balance, you're out of balance as well. Every part of your body is so important. And then the ankles, that's another very tender area where, again, if you don't feel supported, you know, you find a lot of people breaking bones in this area or twisting their ankle. They don't like what they see. They don't like the direction they're going in. They twist their ankles. Or they're always stumbling. And so your ankles are very important as well. And the tops of the feet, well, you can actually feel love when somebody holds your feet and the tops of your feet. It feels nurturing. And so again, you wouldn't think the top of your feet are important. You might give thought to another area, but they're very important, as well as the bottom of the feet and the toes. And you may add pressure as you feel needed, or less pressure. And then I like to go over the hands, because our hands, we feel guided. When someone takes your hand across the street, you feel guided. Our hands guide us. They guide us with touch, and memory, and love. And of course, we can create our own guidance by holding your own hands together and creating your most intimate friendship, which is you first. And then I'm just going to lightly rake if there's anything on her at all, just a little raking, which also stirs the air. And I'm going to do a little of this. When you clap in an auditorium, clapping cleanses the air, cleanses your body even. So this is sort of like a little spiritual clapping. And the Native Americans did it because they knew that that's exactly what it does. It cleanses, clears around your body, your etheric body. And then they did it very, very fast. All of a sudden, it's an acceleration to get the energy going. And the other one is you can use a tuning fork. There's so many tuning forks out here with various degrees of healing. And each one does attune the body differently. This is a 440A. And now I use a hockey puck from one of my favorite hockey players, and I'll tap it, and then I will get that around the body, and the crowned area, and the temple. Now it's vibrating for a long period. And I'll just do the throat area. So that she may only speak her truth elegantly and sufficiently. And lastly, I like to do this, is I like to take it and tap it and put it right in the center. Try that again, sorry. In the heart chakra. And it's still vibrating. So once it stops, and I stop, okay? All right. Now I like to use my crystals, and they're not double tourmalated, but I don't know if you can see them in the light, but they are sided, and they come to a point, and then the bottom is rounded. And so I like to do a figure 8 going over the body. And that's a clearing. Now these crystals are cleansed in the sun and the moon, and they do pick up energy, believe it or not. I have a friend who has meters for my crystals, and he tells me which ones are the strongest, and they actually move on a gauge. It's amazing to watch these crystals actually amplify and work. Now, for those who are interested in UFOs or star seeds, apatite is one of the most beautiful and elegant stones, and this is something that actually activates or brings in others that are of the blue skin color beings, which they do exist. This is a phantom, and as you can see, it's a darker color, and this one is used for shedding all the negativity in your body. This is citrine that has not been heated. They are rare now. They are extremely rare, and the citrine will activate, for instance, you might want to use this on your stomach, and it can activate prosperity. It's almost a clear look. The citrine that most people wear is a heated citrine that creates more yellow in the stone. But this is the clear original one. And if you can get a pure one, it's better for you. And you can also use your pendulums. And this is orgone pendulum, which I like to use orgone. It actually works pretty good with the crystals. And so I'm just going to see for myself where she might need more attention. So far it's showing that she's pretty balanced right now. Okay, right now she has a little residual anger in her for whatever reason, and so I feel that, and I feel the movement with the pendulum. Okay, and her support, she doesn't feel supported as much, so that's moving. So I know that these are areas that we can work on a little bit more. I'm sending out positive thoughts, positive affirmations. And letting her know that she's supported. Okay, so that's one of the things I do. Now some people, if you were working at night, you might want to use this over their eyes to cover their eyes up and have some kind of a pad. I don't like the microwave, so I will not use them as heated, but I just simply keep them as they are. They do have heated different scents in them and so forth, but I do not like to microwave anything. I love using the Chinese hand massager because before I came here, I used them so that I could activate my healing energies. So I really believe in these. They're great. And you can also take one in your hand and then rub it in down below here on the palm here. Feels great. And that activates you. And then you want to take it in between the fingers like this and just hold it. And that activates it as well. And activates your healing in your hands. Or you can use them together and just let them go around in the hand like this. Okay? So now, what I want to do is talk a little bit about crystals. Just a little bit. So I want to let you know that your left side of your body, your left arm, your left hand, and your fingers, your entire left side is the most sensitive side of your body. I don't know about you, but that's where a lot of accidents happen, is on the left side of my body. And so it is considered that it is the most sensitive, and it receives energy from outside of yourself. It comes in from the left side. So it also has that through your left side, the external influences act more quickly upon your personality. And when you wear certain gems on the left side, you consciously can control and modify stresses from your environment. So on the other hand, when you wear gems on your right side, your gems can aid in productivity. So call your right side your doer or your action side of yourself. So rings of every shape and size are the most common form of gem jewelry. So let your hands be the most expressive part of your body. Your left hand, your sensor, listens and receives, while your right hand, your power hand, will direct and conduct your nonverbal expressions. So your fingers are not merely digits used to push buttons or to balance, but each finger has its individual purpose. So your pointer fingers are your directional fingers of expression, and a gem on these can influence your communications, your goals, your dreams. On your left, stones aid towards receiving inner communication, and on your right, stones can assist in sharing their energy towards your directed action. Your middle finger is your intuitive and inspirational finger, and only cover your middle fingers with gemstones when you want to stimulate your intuition. Which, as you can see, I have them on my middle finger. Because I wanted intuition to know how to, or how to receive for her. I'm not really giving, I'm really receiving the energy from the universe. Then it's whatever it does, it does. And each person is different, and each person will feel something different as well. So your fourth finger, or commonly called your ring finger, is your creative finger. And on your left, this finger can receive all forms of creative stimulation and even love. Because of course, this is the vein and the aorta going into the heart, or the aorta part of the heart going in. So you actually can feel and stimulate that creative juice and even love. And on the fourth finger of your left hand, you wear a diamond or your wedding ring. But not by chance, because this sends vibrations straight to your heart. I don't know if anybody ever knows, but if you took off your wedding band or an engagement ring or whatever, you feel loss. You actually feel a loss from taking that ring off, because that's how sensitive that finger is. And your little finger is the finger of change or opportunity. And a gem on your little finger can aid you in accepting changes, while the proper stone on your right little finger can influence change or fortunes and goals. So, lapis is a really special stone. So that stimulates personal wisdom or knowledge. And for the middle finger, you could do amethyst, crystals, sapphires, rubies. And so for the little finger, you can wear pearls, turquoise, or aventurine. So the pointer is lapis, garnet, moonstone, shells, mother of pearl. There are many healing properties of gemstones, and really what I tell people is pick them up and see how it feels for yourself. But when you're working with gemstones, also wear them. Keep them by you. Take them to bed with you. One favorite gemstone. Something smooth, preferably not as raw as this, because you might hit yourself with it or hurt yourself with it, but something that's smoother, like this, or something smooth like this, although that has a point. And really get to know it. Get to know that energy. So I have a crystal meditation that I want to do now that's very brief. Does anybody have a crystal? Okay. Okay, so you'll want to get that out if you have one. Do you have a crystal? Do you have one? Do you have one? Okay. I'll let you have a crystal to hold. Okay. There's the one. Let's see. Okay. So, let's see. Crystals actually increase your alpha brain waves. After holding a crystal for half an hour, this is what they found. So there's lots of scientific studies that were done, oh gosh, in the 1940s even. So crystals have been used in your radios, in your computers, as you know, in television, everything. So there's obviously something to crystals, okay? So the subconscious mind is the controller of your physical body, and it affects everything, and even your emotions. So to change a pattern, they always say, even Abraham Hicks said, oh, take 33 days to change a pattern. So if you want to see a change in your weight, you would picture yourself stepping on the scales and seeing your present weight. But actually do this and then create it in your mind. Picture using a crystal like a laser beam to melt off that extra weight and sculpt the exact shape you want. And now see the exact shape you want. With that crystal in your hand, surround the image with sparkling light and then repeat the process twice a day for 33 days. Remember, after the first time, each repetition visualizes only the finished result. So after you do it a second time and so on, it's always the finished results of how you want to sculpt yourself. And go ahead and use your crystal as a way of sculpting yourself and shaping mentally what you really want to weigh and what is the shape that you'd like to look at. And it says, remember, after the first time, each repetition, visualize only the finished result, the new change. Do not recreate the picture. It's like you're accessing a computer with crystals. So say that you want to manifest a talent. You're going to choose the talent, and you're going to choose it carefully, the talent that you'd like. Do you want to be a painter? Are you an artist? What type of painting do you admire most? Do you want to be a singer? What would you like to do next? Do you want to learn a new language? Do you want to knit? Do you want to do you want to travel? What would you like to do? So now get in a comfortable position. Hold your crystal in your left hand and close your eyes and see the crystal in front of you getting as big as a house. Walk down to the manifesting room and go inside. Bring in the artist you admire and have them show you how to paint, or bring in someone that you admire that you want to learn something from, or how you want to become, or how you want to see your future unfold. Create now inside your crystal that is bigger than a house, or as big. You might ask for a master to come and join you, or to teach you something new. If you want to manifest a companion, you have to know what you want. And always ask for that companion who will be the right one for your highest good and for theirs. It's always good to start with, I invoke the light of Christ within me. I am a clear and perfect channel. Light is my guide. And don't worry about the method that you're using. The universe knows more ways to achieve this than you do. But be prepared to take action of your own to finish and complete your desire. It may come as an opportunity that you have to earn, or it may be something that is gifted to you as well. Okay, so now we're going to learn a bit about the crystals, and I'll have you hold one of these. You can hold the crystal too. I'll have you hold. You got yours? Okay. You can hold another one. I will hold my citrine. So I'm going to give you a little bit more information about crystals, because I think a lot of people will use them, they love them, but there's more to them than meets the eye. So this is taking raw material and using it to manifest. You can also put this on a map or on a piece of paper with your affirmation, and that also helps to amplify it. So these crystals can be millions and millions of years of age. We don't know. They still have a hard time figuring out unless there's plant matter inside them, or we know through a certain radiation test and so on. But they don't always know exactly how old this is. And think of it as going from mother to daughter, from father to son, from hand to hand. Your crystal may be one that an indigenous person owned or used or was gifted. It can be from anywhere in the world, in fact, because the ocean actually can pick these pieces up and send them elsewhere, as well as earthquakes. Hurricanes have been known to pick up stones, sand, very heavy objects. We have no idea where these crystals come from, actually. So what I want you to do now is enter the crystal with your imagination. So look at your crystal and put it eye level. And just sense, what do you think? You know, move about inside of it. And let it talk to you. It will speak to you. You just have to trust your own inner guidance and telepathy. Is it cloudy? Does it have lines on it? Is it clear? Does it have bumps? Does it have mica or rainbows in it? I want you to think of it as your magician wand. You are the great musician right now. And this crystal has a greater purpose. It's not meant to actually just sit there doing nothing. So a smoky quartz peels away negativity. But a clear quartz amplifies. It can be a record keeper. It can be a witness to so much, like very, very ancient trees are witnesses. This is a witness. So when you look at it, you may also ask, what were you a witness to? How did you grow? Moldavite creates acceleration of the light field and energy, and that is a green stone, gemstone. And blue apatite is for meditation, and it's a magnet for UFOs, which I had described earlier. One moment, please. I'm going to put on another. Here. So again, continue to look at your crystal, and I really want you to bond with it and look at it. and feel it.
Thank you.
Shed light on it with a flash, and then eventually they would fly away, you know. And I'd hold them in my hands, and almost like it just became natural to breathe life into them, or to feel that, you know. And so, or I'd go into the wooded areas, and all the animals would be around them. So I'd have deer sitting there while I'm singing to them, and I'd have beavers, I'd have everything. And I just thought this was normal, and it was not normal for other people, but I thought it was for me. Or I'll say things out loud, like, I think she's hearing my thoughts, because I hear other people's thoughts, and I'll just all of a sudden start in the middle. She goes, will you stop doing that? Because I think she gets it, she doesn't. So I have to realize I have to be more expressive with mine because I'm more telepathic. So I've had to learn to be more talkative and all of that because...
It's very beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's just, but anyway, and these are some, you know, my notes and stuff that I take, and I'm like a mad scientist. I just go at it, you know. I don't know whatever's going to come out. And like she saw me do it, I did it this morning because it's just like, you know, whatever is necessary, just let it flow, and then it does. And I write it down, you know. Okay, we're ready to go? Yes, but then I have meditation quickly that will be... Do you have a little more time? Do you have a little more time for the meditation? Because I want to do a meditation. Is that off right now? Which is the double terminated crystals. They are crystals that point at both ends, and I use them in between my hands to put the point here on each palm, and then in between my feet I do that as well. You have to be very gentle because the points are strong and they can harm you, and because they're so, if your skin is very tender, you don't want to put a lot of pressure on them. But I activate it, and I will roll them, you know, roll them in between my hands and wake them up, you know. It's not that you see, these are all tools. It's not that you necessarily have to do anything that I'm showing you, but it's helpful, it's useful. You know, some people are automatically already into this, they know what to do, but many like to know what's an added step that you can add. How else can you bond with nature? And crystals are very much a part of nature. The Native Americans, you will find a lot of times under very, very ancient trees are crystals. They would actually bury crystals as a gift to the tree or when a child was born. So this was something that was done eons ago. It's not new to get a tree and plant it for somebody's birthday or somebody's birth and so on. Except that they add their crystals and stones underneath that for added growth and protection and peace. And they use intentions. They would sing and pray over their crystals or their stones. So then there's the rainbow crystals. They actually have little colored rainbows in them. Those are very beautiful. A lot of times water has entered those. And I wanted to mention the orgone. These are the orgone tools. And these are great because they actually help to repel anything that is radiation, you know, anything, if you're chemo or you have any kind of you're around towers of any kind. Even when you're hiking, these are good to wear on you and to have on you. And you could buy necklaces out of orgone. And they have different crystals in them, along with copper, along with different minerals and gems. And they will repel that radiation. So because our children and people work around computers more and more, it's very helpful to have one of these on you at all times. Especially if you're a computer programmer even, it's very important to have one of those on you. You can also put it in your pocket. There are self-healed and phantom crystals, which again I want to show you this one. That is a phantom crystal. And you can see the extra phantom, the crystal within that. This is a very ancient stone. Very, very old. And I call these the grandfathers and the grandmothers of the crystal kingdom. If they do have lines on them, If they're pink tone, a lot of those come from Lemuria or Atlantis, and those were already pre-programmed. So the most important things when you have your crystals is to ask them, where did you come from? And then listen. But bond with them first so that they have an attachment to you. Almost they know your electrical current. And so you want to make sure that you bond with your crystals. Very, very important. Okay, so you're going to look at the angles and see inside if they have a crystal city even inside them, or air bubbles. And then I want you to take several photos of your crystals and put them in the sun, your favorite crystal. Take a far away one, take an up close one, and so on, in bright light and as well as dark lighting. The nature of your crystal will reveal itself to you. And so it is sharing its heritage with you, its history. Now, and you know, you can ask, what is your service? Why did you come to me? Because often, believe it or not, crystals choose you. And there's a reason for that. I had a beautiful crystal, and it kept going to another person. And I'd call and say, did you accidentally pick up my crystal, or did I don't know how it happened, you know, but they'd have it on them. And I would have to go and retrieve it. Well, every time I retrieved it from a person, I'm not kidding you, it was gone again. But who knows where the last time it went. But it was, so they do appear and exit. My first crystal, and this is a true story, that absolutely frightened me, is I was lying in bed and I was having a dream. I woke up and in my hand was a crystal. I'd never actually been into crystals before. I love my rocks, I love nature, but I never had a crystal in my hand ever. And that was my first one, and I was getting ready to eat it as I woke up. So then I tried to find out what is the composition of this crystal, and it's silica. So I said, oh, okay, maybe I need silica in my body. So I went out and bought a liquid silica, and I put it in my body. And I said, oh, that's, you know, I need silica. Now this was 25 years ago. And then what happened, it's almost like it became such a focused intent to have more crystals. And then it was like they were teaching me, tell people about us, tell them what we do. And so this is what I'm doing here today, is that crystal that somehow was manifested in my hand that I've never had before, started all of this today. So it will teach you its fortune, its service to you, its service to humanity, its destiny, and to stretch beyond the peaks of what it's showing you. So I hope you enjoy your crystals and what they can do for you and what you could do for them. Because when you feel that you're done with that crystal, please pass it on with good intentions and with love. Because there's always someone who you may not think will hold on to a crystal. And I found out one of the children in elementary school held on to the crystal, and he's an 8th grader in middle school, and he carries it with him every day. And I gave it to him in 2nd grade. So it's amazing. Okay, now we're going to do, excuse me, be right with you. I'm going to get a, we're going to do a meditation. It's my pyramid power. I want you to hold your crystals close. And close your eyes. Pyramid power, as you can see under this table, amplifies your energy. But it also is very healing energy. And it can be utilized in various ways to bring about positive changes in your home and physical well-being. Household pets also respond to it. The geometry of the shape of the Great Pyramid in Egypt and the Pyramid of the Sun in Mexico are related to pi. Stonehenge also is 2 pi. And all these places were considered mystical and mathematically figured in this ratio. and the circle was sacred. The pyramids have been built with more stone than all cathedrals built in our era. They set up fields of energy like a lens, using the Earth's magnetic properties. They create waves of inner peace, inner healing, and accelerate the body in healing. Excuse me. Many have made their own pyramid to sit under to meditate out of copper or steel, and you get these online. And it has resources available as well to purchase their products. And with a small glass pyramid, you can hold it with the intention you want to create. You may also place pictures of people you want healed inside a glass pyramid and have an affirmation to focus on. And I'll give you an example. I had a pyramid that I got from a store that was glass, and I put a picture of a beautiful place. I didn't really know where the place came. It was in a magazine. I put it in there, and I put an affirmation, and a year later I was asked to go to Mexico. And come to find out, that picture was in Mexico because I happened to fly by it. It was amazing. It can work, and so do not be afraid to try something that is outside of the box, so to speak. Put it inside the box. All right, so we're going to start the meditation. Close your eyes. You're entering the Great Pyramid in Egypt, and the torches are lit, and you feel the balmy air as you brush your skin against the limestone and granite rocks. They are smooth. You hear a voice humming, and you continue to descend the steps in a cooler atmosphere, but it's most comfortable. You are now at the base, and on the floor is a crystal platform in which to lay down on. And you do so. It's soothing, and it emanates a very faint green color. And then a purple, and then a gold, and then a blue, and then clear again. You are totally mesmerized by this coloring of this beautiful platform crystal. And you let yourself go. And you relax deeper and deeper and deeper. You smell the faint whiff of incense. As the humming continues, and it is pleasant, it's not at all distracting. You close your eyes and you see a scene of ships gliding in the Nile, and you hear swishing, whooshing, swishing of palm trees, and people ashore with figs and jugs of wine in colorful jars. And then one particular person stands out, and he is dressed in silk and linens in a colorful array. He seems friendly, and you want to ask him a question because he's so kind. His face is charming, and he looks wise, and so you do so. You ask him one question. Consider that question now. Amazingly, he seems to know you, and he gives you an answer simply. You thank him for his generosity of spirit and the joy that he has imparted on you. allow your heart to be light. And you continue on your journey. Your mind is relaxed and let go, and it becomes almost blank. And you begin to focus on your body. It's different somehow. The weight is unique. The burdens are gone. You see for a moment that your tan skin is glimmering. It becomes crystalline itself, with colors. You're even sweating a little bit with crystalline sweat that sparkles as it falls from your brow. And then you look above yourself and you see gold around your neck. And you see sandals on your feet. They are soft, unencumbered by them. And you're in a new climate. There's an expansive space around you. And there's various vegetations from which to nibble on. And so go ahead and explore this area now. Happiness swells inside you. You're floating and lifting, and maybe you're even flying off the platform that you're currently supposed to be on. Just ever so gently, you're raised for a moment, and then softly, softly, you return to your position. And you give thanks for this moment of joy. You are being rejuvenated and feeling healthy. As you awaken from this time period, you slowly walk up the stairs in what is dimly lit walls of shimmering yellow diamonds. And you walk out into the warm, warm, starry night. You are in alignment with the moon and the stars and all that is. You realize that this is a mutual benefit from nature to you from nature, to God, and from God, and from yourself. You are compelled to write down what the man told you. It is with love and blessings and gratefulness that you are completely awake from your Egyptian meditation. And so it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I hope you enjoyed this session of wellness and well-being. Thank you.
How did that feel?
Hope you're feeling
Good.
after that.
Good. I have not been feeling well, so this is wonderful.
We're sorry to hear that.
Well, I could tell. So there's a brain connection down here. And I don't know where you've been feeling it, but that's where I felt it. That you need. You want to be careful with the marijuana because it can cause a form of, the cells to die out here. And this is your third eye, so you want to keep that awake and alert. Where, that's more depressant, like bringing you down, But, so you want to be careful with that. If you can eat it, do it.
Okay.
But
I did. I just ordered some gummies.